Good morning, everyone. Find the Intersection is here. We're ready to study the Bible. I hope you are doing well this morning. I'm still waking up, but hey, it is Lent, day number 2. I hope you had the opportunity to go to an Ash Wednesday service or watched one online yesterday, and that God has spoken to you about maybe something to fast or something to start during this Lenten season. And today we're going to be looking at Psalm 91, verses 1 to 2 and 9 to 16. Psalm 91, verses 1 to 2 and 9 to 16. So, hey, this psalm does not have an author listed, as many of the psalms are written by David. This psalm, we're not sure who wrote it. It's considered a wisdom psalm. And so a few things that jumped out to me this morning as I read that is, number one, the word shelter was listed a couple of times. And the word shelter is incredibly important in a society in which people need refuge from the evils of the world. In that day, in a tribal warfare sort of culture, it was important that people had shelter to protect them from different violent acts. And that is same for us today, is that we need shelter to shelter from our storms, right? The second thing that jumped out to me is the phrase, "He will order his angels to protect you wherever you go." Now, that is a phrase that Satan, the devil, quoted when he was tempting Jesus in the desert, which was our passage on Monday. So there's a real neat connection. It's interesting when you take a look at the what this psalm is in a whole. It looks like the first 13 verses, 1 to 13, is the testimony of the author. And verses 14 through 16 is God's reply to what the psalmist wrote about. And so, when you read a psalm, I think this is important that we address this. When you read a psalm, it's like poetry or a song. It's a person's viewpoint in that given moment, and it's inspired, of course, but it's never meant to be taken literal. And sometimes we get in trouble when we look at a psalm and we want to take that literally, like that is the absolute truth. And that's not to say there isn't truth in the psalm. It's just that it's poetry, so we have to help us understand what that really means. And so the devil quotes this psalm in his temptation of Jesus. So the devil knows the scriptures, which is an interesting idea. And often we'll use the scriptures to twist us, tempt us, lie to us. And that's the case in which what the devil did. So we have to know the scriptures, which, by the way, little advertisement. Starting next week, we'll be opening up registration for an online course called The Armor of God, and we're going to be talking about an introduction to spiritual warfare. So you're looking for an online class. We're going to be using Facebook's new social learning format within groups, and so we'll have an Armor of God group, and you can join that group, and each week there'll be a video lesson in which I'll teach, and then some opportunities to do some Bible study on your own and some discussion. But we'll get into things like the temptation of Jesus and that interaction between Jesus and the devil. So anyway, if you're interested, join the group. Look forward. I'll be posting a link here, and look forward to having a conversation with you about the armor of God and spiritual warfare. Anyway, stop by Bible and Paul. The third thing that jumped out to me is those verses 14 through 16, which is the Lord says, the Lord says, and that's the reply to the testimony of the author. But what I found significant in that was this idea of prayer. In verse 15, it says, "When they call on me, I will answer. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue and honor them." So this aspect that God will answer our prayers when we call out to him, which is a theme, a thread that runs through all 4 passages. So anyway, that's what I got this week. The application in this Lenten season is a self-examination of my trust for God, trust in God, and just being honest with God and about the areas in my life that I trust him and the areas that I tend to kind of take over and run my own show. So anyway, that's what I got. So, hey, what did you see in this passage today? If you would share your thoughts. And tomorrow is my favorite day of the week. It's Friday, and we'll be talking about the threads, the intersections, the themes that run through the 4 passages, or at least most of the passages. And this coming Sunday is the first Sunday of Lent. So all that we're doing this week prepares us for Sunday. If you go to Southside, we're going to be doing a series called The Words of Jesus from the Cross, and we'll be talking about Forsaken and how that connects into what we've studied this week. Anyway, that's enough for me. You're like, Paul, stop it. Stop talking. All right. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a great day.